Hey guys! Today we'll be covering a 2013 rom-com film called Four Sisters and a Wedding. The opening scene begins with four little sisters named Teddy, Bobby, Alex, and Gabby praying to Jesus for a baby brother. The scene then shifts to a few years later when the four sisters, along with their brother named CJ, have grown up. Now, CJ and Gabby live with their mother Grace, while the other sisters live on their own. Teddy works as a waitress in Spain, Bobby as a communications manager in New York, Gabby as a teacher in Cuba, and Alex as an assistant director in Manila. One fine morning, CJ tells his mother and Gabby that he is getting married soon, which surprises them. Following this, Gabby calls her sisters to inform them of CJ's marriage with a girl named Princess and invites everyone for the preparation of the event. Teddy, who has been laid off from her teaching job, does not want her family to know she is working in a restaurant. Being the eldest daughter, she is afraid that her mother and sisters will regard her as a failure. Meanwhile, she approaches her co-worker Frodo and asks for money so she can return home for her brother's wedding. Frodo agrees to help her, but in exchange, he asks her to take him along as her boyfriend. Elsewhere, Bobby lives with her boyfriend Tristan, who already has a little girl named Trixie. Her boyfriend adores her, but Trixie seems to despise her. All three sisters are on their way back home, while Gabby is preparing food and rooms for all of them. Later, the sisters arrive, and everyone appears to be happy to see each other. However, Bobby isn't thrilled to see Alex because she has taken Bobby's ex-boyfriend away from her. Following that, everyone goes inside and talks about the sleeping arrangements. Alex invites Bobby to share the room as they used to do in their childhood, but the latter chooses to stay with Teddy. Soon after, Frodo comes across a wall of certificates and achievements of the four sisters. Trixie discovers that Alex is the only one without any medals and asks about it. As expected, this offends Alex, but before things can escalate, Tristan apologizes on behalf of his daughter. Later, the entire family are dining together when Bobby asks CJ why he's marrying so quickly. CJ responds that Princess has a sick grandfather whose wish is to see his granddaughter get married before he dies. The sisters start making sarcastic remarks, but CJ takes it to heart and walks out. Realizing their mistake, the four sisters follow him and apologize for their behavior. The next day, CJ's family pays a visit to Princess's large mansion for the first family meeting. The two families introduce themselves, and Princess's mother shares the wedding plans, which appear to be unusual for CJ's family. Later, Princess's father inquires about CJ's earnings because he doubts his ability to handle Princess's lifestyle. This offends the sisters, but CJ calms them down. Upon returning back home, the four sisters gossip about Princess's family, calling them arrogant, ill-mannered, and condescending. But their mother explains that they simply have different manners than them. She also expresses her admiration for Princess and advises her daughters to show some respect for CJ's fiancé's family. Later that night, Teddy suggests that they get the marriage called off, and as a result, the four sisters begin scheming. Alex comes up with the idea that one of them should get married, which will cause Princess's family to object to their daughter's marriage in the same year. However, that plan is quickly abandoned. Teddy suggests bringing CJ's ex-girlfriend back into the mix, but Bobby claims that he would never leave Princess for a girl who had hurt him. Bobby then comes up with the ultimate deal breaker, but before she can elaborate, she receives a call from her boss, prompting her to leave. The next morning, Teddy comes into Alex and Gabby's room to tell them about her new plan. She believes that CJ fell for Princess solely due to the lack of options, so she decides to find him some girls. She then calls their housekeeper, Toady, and asks her to introduce CJ to various decent girls. She also forbids Toady from disclosing their involvement. Later that night, Toady takes CJ, Tristan, and Frodo to a motel, declaring a boys' night out. There, Toady makes them drink and go window shopping. In the morning, the four sisters notice the boys inebriated. They chastise Toady after discovering that she took them to a motel instead of a decent bar. But at the same time, Princess arrives and notices CJ in an intoxicated state. However, instead of being angry, she finds it cute and helps him get over his hangover. Later, Princess cooks breakfast for everyone, and surprisingly, it tastes delicious. CJ's mother appears to be impressed by her cooking abilities. A few moments later, Alex's boyfriend Chad arrives, creating an awkward situation for all of them, because Chad is Bobby's ex-boyfriend, whom Alex stole away from her. Alex says that since all three sisters are accompanied by their boyfriends, she decided to include her boyfriend as well. As soon as Princess notices Chad, she gets excited and claims to have a huge crush on him since she can remember. She also asks Chad to sing his old song for her, which he agrees. Coincidentally, Princess requests the same song that he wrote for Bobby, making Alex and Tristan envious. Later, Grace approaches Alex and says that she should not have brought Chad home. She also tells her to settle her differences with Bobby. Alex is upset because she is always perceived as the one in the wrong. On the other hand, Bobby realizes that Tristan is jealous, but she manages to ease him by expressing her love for him. The next day, Tristan has to fly to Singapore for a business meeting, so he decides to leave Trixie with Bobby. The little girl starts crying as she doesn't want to stay alone, but Tristan settles her down. Before departing, he asks Bobby to try to overcome the gap between her and Trixie because he wants them to be a happy family. As soon as he walks away, Alex approaches her and suggests that she marry Tristan because she believes he is a good guy. However, Bobby gets nasty and tells her not to comment on her personal life. Meanwhile, Teddy and Frodo visit Papa's spa, which is owned by Princess's parents. Teddy believes that they are doing erotic massage in the spa and decides to expose them. She sends Frodo to get a happy ending massage package, but before it is finished, she calls the cops to expose them. However, when the cops enter the massage room, everything appears to be normal. Soon after, Princess's mother arrives and accuses Teddy of having a dirty mind. She also threatens Teddy with an investigation in order to reveal her unspoken secrets. On the way back, Frodo suggests Teddy tell her family about her secret before it is revealed by others, but the latter yells at him, calling his suggestion stupid, making him feel bad. Later at home, CJ is furious at Teddy for what she has done to his fiancé's family. Eventually, he learns that all of his sisters were aware of it, which makes him even more disappointed. The sisters confess that they do not want him to marry Princess because her family is rude and arrogant. They also admit that they did it because they care about their baby brother's future. However, CJ claims that he is no longer a baby and that he can make the right decision, unlike all of them. Before leaving, he tells them that he will marry Princess, even if they do not consent. As soon as he walks away, Bobby chastises Teddy for her stupid plan, and the two of them get into a fight. Alex also joins in on the fight and sides with Teddy. According to her, Bobby's status as a New Yorker does not make her superior to them. Mid-fight, they notice their mother and pretend to be playing charades. The same night, Bobby is working when Trixie comes to her and asks her to buy some juice and chocolates. As a result, Bobby takes her to the supermarket to purchase the items she desires. While shopping, Bobby notices Chad flirting with another girl and purchasing contraception. The following day, Bobby spills the tea to Alex, but she doesn't believe her. Alex then responds by using her own words against her, saying not to make comments on her personal life. Bobby claims that she only informed her as a sister's responsibility. Alex becomes enraged and questions whether Bobby is still her sister after all these years of arguing. She also claims that Bobby broke up with Chad simply because she got a job in the United States. Bobby counters by saying that Alex is immature and childish. Their argument finally comes to an end when Trixie approaches them. After a while, Bobby leads Trixie into a room, but when she starts crying, the little girl feels bad. In the evening, Princess's family pays a visit to CJ's house to show the gowns that CJ's family will be wearing at the wedding. However, the four sisters as well as their mother do not appear to be pleased with the gowns, so Grace attempts to persuade Princess's mother to allow them to wear gowns of their choosing. However, Princess's mother insists they wear them because the gowns cost a lot of money. When the two parties fail to agree, Princess's father comes up with a plan. He proposes to play a game, and the winning family will get to make the final decision. They play charades, but Princess's family continues to make fun of Teddy throughout the game. Princess's mother addresses Teddy as a Spanish maid and instructs Grace to question her about the truth. Enraged, Grace orders Princess and her family to leave before confronting Teddy. Bobby appears to be aware of Teddy's secret because she saw her working in a restaurant during her visit in Madrid last year. She encourages Teddy to reveal the truth as the time is right. Teddy admits that she was laid off from her teaching job, forcing her to begin working as a maid in a restaurant. She also admits that she was always envious of Bobby's intelligence and beauty. Bobby is surprised to hear this because she herself is jealous of the rest of her siblings. She claims that she always admired CJ's innocence, Gabby's maternal instincts, Alex's adventurous lifestyle, and Teddy's sense of humor. She also believes that CJ and Teddy have always been Grace's favorite, while Alex and Gabby have always been their father's favorite. Whereas they see her as arrogant and horrible simply because she is successful in the United States. Bobby claims she moved to the United States not for herself, but for her family. She then reminds them of their past when their father's illness and their mother's operation and CJ's school fees put them in a lot of debt and none of the sisters had enough earnings. As a result, she decided to fly to the United States, and even if she wanted to return home, she had to live alone. She says that despite them thinking she is a horrible person, she has feelings and gets hurt too. Hearing this, everyone sobs, and her mother explains that she focused more on CJ and Teddy because they were weak and sickly, unlike the rest of them. She also apologizes for making her daughters feel they were treated differently. The emotions run high, the apologies flow, and the family reconnects. The next day, the siblings go to spy on Chad. As soon as they walk into the bar, Alex notices Chad kissing another girl, catching him red-handed. She then slaps Chad, claiming that he is to blame for her rift with her sister. The siblings also shut down the side chick when she swears at Alex. With this, the family appears to be unified, and the sisters begin to enjoy themselves with the familiar childhood joy. Later that evening, they receive a call from CJ informing them of Princess's grandfather's death. They all attend the funeral and express their condolences. The two families put aside their animosity toward one another. However, Princess's mother is sad because the wedding scheduled for the following day will not be possible due to Princess's grandfather's death, and that all their preparations will be in vain. However, Bobby says that the preparation will not be in vain. In the next scene, we see Tristan return, and as soon as he enters from the gate, Frodo and Trisky whisk him away to the church. Upon arrival, Tristan is surprised to see Bobby dressed as a bride, waiting for him. Finally, they marry happily. CJ and Princess, as well as Frodo and Teddy, intend to marry within the next year.